Yo, what's going on, everybody? It's Chicken George from Season 1 and Season 7 of Big Brother. How are y'all doing today? No, it's not Chicken George, it's Hawaiian Shirt Brian. How's everyone doing today? Chicken George is awesome, though. I get told a lot I look like him. So in this video, I wanted to talking about... Sorry, I'm all over this, my words. I wanted to talk about the Nightmare on Elm Street franchise and my thoughts on future movies and what could be the potential of future movies. What are some of my ideas on how that you could bring them back, this and that. So this video will be all over the place. We're going to talk a little bit about Freddy Krueger, the character, and I'm going to give 2 or 3 ideas of potential sequels or reboots that I think could potentially revitalize the franchise. So before we get into this video, I hope you will subscribe and ding that bell so that way you get notified every time I upload a video, and also like this video as well and leave a comment. So without further ado, let's get right into this. So Nightmare on Elm Street, if you haven't heard of it, it's awesome. There is so many Nightmare on Elm Street movies. I mean, there is Nightmare on Elm Street. Let's see, it has what? So the original movie came out in 1984. And it had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It had 6 sequels, a crossover movie, a reboot, a TV series, multiple fan-made movies, multiple copycat movies off it. And yeah, I mean, it's been a movie. It's, like I said, TV series, a reboot, a crossover, 6 sequels. I mean, wow. A TV appearance on the Goldbergs, that was probably hard to do. Multiple comics written about it. I mean, just awesome. Freddy Krueger is literally one of the best known horror movies. I'll show you all the copycat movie. Copycat of the Nightmare on Elm Street. I want to see if I can find this. I seen this just earlier, but I'm not gonna be able to find it. I will put the link to the name of the movie. I can't remember. It was an Indian-made movie. It was like a fan-made, but yeah, back to the point. Nightmare on Elm Street has been, around for years. I mean, it launched Johnny Depp's career. Johnny Depp, the legendary actor, one of my favorite actors, it was his very first movie. Robert Englund is in him. I mean, there's been so much. Like I said, 6 sequels, a crossover, a TV series, a reboot, multiple copycat movies, toys made, posters made, so much, comic books made, talks of so much. Now, the last time we saw a Nightmare on Elm Street movie was 14 years ago. This October, I believe, will be 14 years. I believe it was October of 2010 when Nightmare on Elm Street, the reboot with Jackie Earle Haley, sucked by the way, came out. Now, actually, I just found something out today about that movie. That movie was very successful financially. It made $93 million in profit with its budget back. That was crazy. It had a $10 million budget and made $93 million. But I feel like that was out of curiosity, though. Like, people just curiosity what the movie's going to be about. Because it's critically hated. It is actually... I never knew this. It's the 3rd most successful Nightmare on Elm Street movie, but it's the most hated. Critically hated. It was just not a good movie. It was not entertaining at all. It was stupid, all that, but boring as well. But back to the point. So that was the last time we saw a Nightmare on Elm Street movie. And the movie before that, which was actually not that long before that, 7 years earlier to that, was Freddy vs. Jason, the crossover movie. The movie that had been talked about since the late 80s. And took nearly 20 years to make. Nearly 20 years of talking and over 11 years of, not agreeing on scripts and stuff. Before that, we had a movie that, it's not a sequel, I don't know if it would be called a spin-off, but it was a more realistic type version. You had Freddy's Dead: The Final Nightmare, you had The Dream Child, you had Part 4, Part 3, Part 2, which was also terrible, not as bad as the reboot, but still wasn't good. And then you had the original. So there have been talks ever since 2010 about, is Freddy ever going to come back? Now, there were talks of doing a sequel to the reboot. There's been talks about doing a sequel to Freddy vs. Jason. There's been talks about doing a direct sequel, ignoring the crossover, the reboot, and all the sequels and TV show, and just going straight off the first movie. There's been talks about doing another reboot, just total reboot, but putting Robert Englund in it, or not having Robert Englund, just another reboot. There's been talks of a prequel, talks of another crossover movie with maybe Chucky. There's a number of ideas of how to bring Freddy back. Me personally, I'm like 50-50 on it. Like, there's a lot of me that would love to, like, I would love to go to, like, I never got the opportunity to go to a movie, see a Nightmare on Elm Street movies, because the last one came out when I was too young, and all the other ones that came out before I was even born. So it would be awesome to go, go with my friends one night to the movie theater, and it would just be awesome. Like, have a good time, like, to see Freddy Krueger on the screen. So there's a lot of me that would love to see another Freddy Krueger movie. But there's also a lot of me that says, you know what, there has been how many movies? There's been what? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9 movies. There's been 9 movies. A TV show that ran 3 seasons. Multiple comics and references. Like, maybe they should just leave it be and let it be. Let the movies that are there, let them be what they are, instead of trying to, make all these other movies and stuff. Now, my thoughts on that are interesting. So, like I said, I'm 50-50 on it. I go back and forth. Now, I would definitely go and see another Nightmare on Elm Street, no matter who it is. Even if it was a stupid sequel to Jackie Earle Haley's version. No shame to you, Jackie, but even if it was that, I would still go see it, because I like, this is one of my favorite franchises. This is not my favorite horror movie franchise, but this is one of my favorites. But yeah, so I would go see a sequel. But it's the question of, how can you bring Freddy Krueger back and have success to where you could potentially make sequels off that? Whatever. Is it doing another sequel off the original franchise? Is it a direct sequel? Is it a prequel? Is it another reboot? Is it a sequel to the terrible reboot? Is it another crossover? How does Freddy come back on the screen? Because it's been 14 years since we've seen Freddy. The number one talk is a direct sequel. There's a lot of talk of that. There's even talks of maybe going off part 3. Now, in a minute, I'm going to give you some of my ideas. These are not ideas, but these are ideas of mine. Now, some of these ideas to me, they sound kind of corny, and some don't. But here, these are going to be my ideas. So just a second, though. I just want to say, before I get into my ideas, tell me what ideas you guys have, if you guys have any, and what you think about mine. So, my ideas are, I have like 3, maybe 4, but the 3 I'm going to talk about are, one way I think you could bring the franchise back is going off, like I said, going off part 3's movie, and maybe having the girl from part 3, what's her, Patricia Arquette, maybe bringing her back, and maybe it being, like, years and years later, by this time she's had kids, and her kids are grown, and they have kids, and she's like, kind of like a Laurie Strode type thing. She's a crazy grandmother, but she's like, maybe like make her into like a woman of like religiousness, and like have her be ready for Freddy, and then have Freddy come back, and then like, something along those lines. I don't want to go detail to detail because I don't even have a script for it, but like something like that. Like maybe they do like a 30 years later type thing, or maybe do it like a descendants of hers. Something along those lines, I think, would be an awesome way to bring back Freddy for one last time. Another thing that I have is just doing a sequel right off Freddy's Dead: The Final Nightmare, and just having one last movie where Freddy's around and then just killing him for good, killing him off. That's another idea. That's a more basic one. I have an idea for another reboot, where you probably didn't guess it, but where actually Johnny Depp or Kevin Bacon take over and play Freddy Krueger. It wouldn't be as good as Robert Englund. I love Johnny Depp, and Kevin Bacon's awesome too. It wouldn't be as good as Robert Englund, but still, I could see that. Or maybe doing some sort of movie where they think it's Freddy, but ends up not being Freddy, and Freddy ends up working with them, with the teenagers, try to help them. But my biggest idea that I think is probably the most interesting, in my at least opinion, it might sound stupid, it is stupid though, is a multiverse movie of Freddy Krueger's. So, imagine a movie with Robert Englund's Freddy Krueger and Jackie Earle Haley's, despite Jackie Earle Haley's Freddy Krueger being extremely stupid, having those two in the same movie, and even having Super Freddy from Nightmare on Elm Street, is it 4 or 5? Can't remember, I think it was 5, having Super Freddy. Can you imagine that? and having some alternate universe Freddy where Johnny Depp played Freddy Krueger. Like, that would be epic. Just one last movie, one multiverse of Freddy Krueger's attacking a city, and then just ending it. So that's an idea I have of a multiverse Freddy Krueger. And then I do have an idea for a sequel to Freddy vs. Jason, if that would ever be a thing. You know, there were talks of actually doing a reboot Freddy and a Jason, but I was thinking, put the reboot character and the Jason Voorhees on the same screen, but don't have Jackie or Haley play Freddy. Have Robert Englund play Freddy, and then have the 2009 reboot Jason play Jason. I mean, that'd be an interesting way to put it. Maybe throw Ash up in there. You could do Freddy vs. Jason 2. That's not my original idea. They already had that idea. But maybe put Pinhead in there. But there's a lot of ways. Now, me personally, I'd only want to see one of these movies. I know they'd probably make sequels to it. Because Halloween 18, when they did that, that was really good. Then they made Halloween Ends and Halloween Kills and all that. They weren't that good. But yeah, those are my thoughts. But I think Multiverse Freddy. I think the Multiverse of Freddy Krueger is probably my best one. Or a sequel to Freddy vs. Jason. Maybe, you know what? This could be one. A sequel to Freddy vs. Jason where the two Freddy vs. Jason are fighting reboot Jason and reboot Freddy. Now, I don't like the reboot at all. I think the reboot's terrible, but yeah, you know, maybe you could do something with it. But yeah, let me know what you think about my ideas. But yeah, those are ways that I think the franchise would come back. Personally, I think they need to just leave it alone. Come up with new ideas. I get it, it's hard, but there's got to be other potential out there. As awesome as other movies would be, I don't know. We're going to have to see what ends up happening with Freddy and Jason and all them. And you know, there's talks of that. There's talks of doing another TV series, whatever. But we're going to have to see what happens. Let me know in the comment section, do you guys and girls think that they should bring back Nightmare on Elm Street? And do you all have any ideas of what do you think is the best route? Another reboot, a direct sequel, a sequel to the crossover, a reboot to the crossover, a TV series? What do you think is the best route to bring Freddy back? Now, it would be tough because Robert Englund did say that he would never play Freddy again because he's too old. I mean, he's what, like 78 now, 79? He's pushing 80 years old. He can't do the stunts like what he did back in the 80s and 90s and early 2000s when he was playing Freddy. But, yeah. Just let me know in the comment section, what do you think this is? Some people say just do a video game. So I don't know about that, but yeah. So, as I said, let me know in the comment section what you all think. Alright, everybody, that's going to be it for this video. Thank you for taking the time to watch it. I really appreciate it. Before we end the video, I just want to say thank you. 180 subs. Wow. Thank you all so much. I really appreciate it. Please keep it up. All the sharing and liking stuff, I really love it. Thank you all so much. So, as always, the usual. Like, share, comment, favorite, and if you have not already, subscribe for more. Alright, everyone. God bless you. Stay safe. Thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next video. Hawaiian Shirt Brian out of here. Bye, everybody.